Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another training session brought to you by Dash Trader. This session is on moving average, how to configure your moving averages, and how to use your moving averages to trade. So let's just jump right in. I'll tell you a few things about myself. I grew up here in New York's professional trading community. I'm a native of New York, and I've certainly done every single role that you can imagine on a trading desk, from trader to risk manager to market maker, to the head of education for a major educational company. And then I later started my own educational company before I came here to work with Dash Trader to teach you more about our amazing trading platform. So let me jump right in and tell you a little bit about today's session. We're going to cover what is a moving average. Now, most of you are like, oh, I know how to use moving averages. I know all about moving averages. They're pretty straightforward, but I really want you to get an in-depth knowledge of all the things and all the capabilities that you can do using the Dash Trader software to really get full use out of this amazing trend following tool. Moving averages calculate the average of a selected range of prices, usually the closing price, but does not have to be the closing price, by a number of periods in that range. Okay, it's a technical indicator that can aid in determining whether the asset price will continue or if it will reverse into in a bull or a bear trend. It can be enhanced if you decide to use exponential moving averages, and exponential moving averages just more heavily weight the recent prices versus all of the prices that are calculated in the average. So it's just giving more weight to the most current prices. So let's jump right in and take a look at our Dash Trader. And we're going to do some pretty cool things using moving averages, probably things that you may or may not ever realized that you can do using your system. So hopefully you're seeing your Dash Trader platform, and I transferred the screens correctly. So here we have a very simple chart. This is a regular Dash Trader chart, the S&P. Notice it's got the pre and the post market data. And I want to say, look, so moving averages will be vastly affected by whether you have pre and post market data, and realize the volume in the post market is way lower than the volume during the actual regular trading session. So I'm going to configure all of our moving averages I'm going to show you on the daily chart, but I'm also going to show you on the intraday. Obviously, daily charts are not going to have this pre and post market data issue. So we go to data config and we click this little box and we hit commit. Okay, so now I have a very, very clear view of some moving averages. I'm just going to take my moving averages off for 1 second. Okay, I'm just going to remove them for 1 second. The way you remove an indicator is you just click remove, 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 commit. Now they're gone. And then I'm going to pop them right back in. Okay, so I'm going to go to study config, and I'm just going to add my moving averages back in. And I'm putting in 3 there. Notice they all come in with 50 period moving average. I'm going to right click on them. Now I'm going to configure this one to be 10. Now I want you to understand that we always like to look at time frames, moving averages. In technical analysis, we like to look at things through 3 lenses. One is the short term, intermediate term, long term. Short term, intermediate term, long term. So the first one is going to be my 10 period moving average, and I'm going to put it to yellow. Now, the most important thing I'd like to say about color coding your moving averages is you just don't want to make it red or green, because red or green will blend in with the price bars of your charts. Because if it's down, it's red. If it's green, it's up, unless you're using different colors, in which case you can use whatever color scheme you like. If you're colorblind, certainly red and green probably are not the best colors for you to use. And I'm going to give you some suggestions too on how to utilize your moving averages better. I'm going to hit commit. Now I want to show you something else. Notice that the width here, I like to make my short-term moving average very skinny. Okay, and then I hit commit. I'm going to make my intermediate term moving average a little fatter. I'm going to make it 3. It's 20 period moving average for my intermediate. And I'm going to make this one blue. I'm going to hit OK, commit. And then this one, I'm going to make it a little bit fatter. I'm going to make this one 5. Width for 5. 50 period moving average. And I'm going to leave it pink. And I'm just going to apply these on my chart. Okay, so notice these color codes. Okay, I'm going to right click again, data config, study config. I'm going to right click right here. It says draw slope. So what that does is it will color code the up slope to be green and the down slope to be red. Okay, I'm just going to hit commit again because I want you to look at this. These are color coding all 3 of our moving averages with the slope to the upside is green, the slope to the downside is red. That overrides the regular color coding of your moving average. So let's just go here. Let's unclick that. Okay, and hit commit. I'm going to do it on all 3. Unclicked, commit, unclicked, commit. Okay. So now our moving averages are color coded. All right. According to the colors that we designated. The thickness of the line is now designated to the time period. Fast moving average is the thinnest, intermediate is middle thickness, and the thickest, the one that has the most price data, probably the biggest indicator of support or resistance because it includes more price data, is fatter. Next. Let's add a moving average because we're talking about moving averages. We're going to go a little moving average crazy. Let's add another moving average. Okay, this one I'm going to do it as 100. My period is going to be 100. And this one, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to continue with my vein of making it slightly thicker, but on this one, I'm going to draw the slope and I'm going to hit commit. So now we have a moving average that's really fat. It's my 100 period moving average that its color coding is based on the slope of the overall trend. Okay, now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm just going to pop this into a daily chart. Okay. Now here, it's kind of uncertain. The slope is somewhat flattish, so it doesn't color code it accordingly. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. 5-minute slope is up. 30-minute, right? Slope is down. So when it's going down, it's bearish. When it's up, it's bullish. Now, look, I'm not saying that you're going to want to do this, but we can even do more things with moving averages on Dash Trade. And some of this stuff, some of you may have been Dash Trader users for years and not known that the software had this capability. I want to show you something else. And I'm not saying you might want to do, definitely want to do this on all your charts, but I'm just going to show you that you can do it. Okay. And I'm going to do this one as orange. And this one, I'm going to put a moving average on volume. It might look a little bit funny. Okay. This is the moving average on volume. This one is also color coded on up and down slope. So notice that as the volume goes up, it goes up. Okay, I'm going to right click on this, just do study config, and I'll put it to regular color coding because this one has the draw on slope. Commit. And now this moving average is the only one on volume. Okay, now look, we've kind of gone a little moving average crazy. You know that you can do this. Okay, now I'm going to remove these last two, which were kind of just for fun. And then we're just going to leave our nice, simple, clean moving average chart. Okay, let's jump into looking at our 60-minute chart. Very, very clean. We see the short-term trend followed by the yellow one, the intermediate-term trend by blue, slightly thicker, and then the thickest purple, which is giving us our full 60-minute trend on our 50-period moving average. Notice how I have all of my, what the titles or labels of my moving averages right here. I'm going to put on my 5-minute chart just so I have a nice clean chart. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this. Let's hold on a second. Okay, I'm just going to make this into, I'm going to stretch it over here. And I want to show you how easy it is. So now I've configured the moving averages the way I like them. I'm going to load these onto my screen. I'm going to save this, save settings. I'm going to save this as intraday with just SMAs. Okay, and I'm going to hit load. Okay, hit load. All right, so here, 1, 2, 3. We got all of our charts configured. Now I'm going to change these to different time frames. I got my 5-minute chart here. I'm going to put my 15-minute chart here, and I'm going to put my 60-minute chart here. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So I got all my different moving average charts here. Okay, I'm going to do something else here. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to right click here and I'm going to hit study config. This is on my volume. I'm going to add a moving average, 20 period moving average on volume, and I'm going to leave it orange, hit commit. Okay, I'm going to make it a little shorter term because I want it to be a little shorter term. I'm going to make this a 10. And since it's shorter term, I'm going to cut that down to 3. Go a little bit shorter term. Make it a 5. And why would I put a moving average from a trading perspective? Why would I put a moving average on my volume? Well, the reason is pretty simple. Okay, the reason is pretty simple. We want to see above average volume. Okay, so we want to see above average volume on our the ones that are above average volume. So the moving average would indicate our average volume for 5 bars. So this one is above average volume. It's just about above average volume. So the ones that are skewing us are the ones that are at the beginning and the end of the day. So this is really above average volume. Okay. And I'm not saying that you want to definitely do that. I'm actually going to take it off. I don't like to have anything clouding my volume bars personally, but I want to show you that you can do that if you choose to. Now, I'm just going to show you also, right, that we can link different charts. And the way we do that is just by taking our level 2, we take the anchor, we drop the anchor on the chart, drop the anchor on the chart, drop the anchor on the chart. Just make sure that we dropped our anchor on all of our charts. And I'm just going to put in, let's say we'll take a look at Facebook, and now they all change together. And now we have a beautiful view of all 3 time frames, 5-minute, 15-minute, and 60-minute chart. Now, we could put a daily chart up here, and really, I'm actually going to make this one the daily chart just for right now. I'm going to put this back to my 15-minute. Moving averages are very, very powerful in trending issues. I'm just going to GBTC, right? Trending issues such as Bitcoin, right? So here, this is the Bitcoin tracking stock GBTC. And you can see here that the trend, and look how clearly the 50 period moving average served as support on GBTC. Here's the 50 period moving average once again coming in as support. Here's the 20 period moving average. So what we used to call between the 20 and the 50 was the buy zone. So that was the rising, between the rising 20 and the rising 50, there's your buy zone. And this was really extremely oversold, going deep into the buy zone. Very, very good buy opportunity. This actually pierced the buy zone, but again, it didn't close within the buy zone. So it closed within the buy zone, but it didn't close outside of the buy zone. So that would have still been a buy. And that's exactly what moving averages are designed to do, which is find at great areas of price opportunity inside of a trending issue. And in this case, the GBTC is trending up clearly. But if you want to clear out all that noise, anytime it kissed the 20, great buy opportunity. Got into the 20, didn't go deep down to the 50, great buy opportunity. deep into all the way, kissed, but did not close beyond and closed above in the buy zone. Great buy opportunity. Again, great buy opportunity. And this goes through issue after issue, NVDA. Let's take a look at NVIDIA, which has been a little bit beaten up lately. And I'm going to go back in time when NVIDIA was trending. You can see the same kind of, when it got close here, there was a nice move up over there. Probably not the best one. Let's take a look at Tesla because it had a huge trend until recently. Here's Tesla, right? For a long time, really trending well. And I want to show you, this is another element of moving average analysis, right? So here, this is a stock that is very, very strong. Okay. When a stock is very strong, it comes into the 50, rejects off the 50, rallies up, kisses the 50, rallies up. Big, huge breakout here on Tesla right there in November. And then it rides the 10 and the 20, the short and the intermediate term moving average as it goes higher, that it's riding the 10. It's even off the 10. So like when you see something that's trending like this, if I wanted to put in another moving average, just to do moving average analysis, I could put in the 5, orange, 5. I'll make it a 1 width because it's a short term. Hit commit. Oops, I have it still on volume. Let's just fix that. I'm going to do calculate on volume, take that off. And then you'll see, as I zoom in here, it's riding the 5. So when it's not touching the 10, if you put a 5 period, which is half of 10, you could see where it's probably going to reverse. And the 5, for a period of time, Tesla was really, really riding between the 5 and the 10. The buy zone was between the 5 and the 10. Only in a couple of instances did it go as deep down into the 20. And here you go. And then finally, the trend is no longer in effect. We've recently broken down. And of course, the stock has now flipped below price. So anytime price is above the moving average, it's effectively bullish. Anytime it's below the moving averages, it's effectively now gone bearish. So Tesla has gone below its 20 and has technically gone bearish. Now, it probably stopped near the 100. I'm just going to put that moving average in there. Like, this guy's gone moving average crazy. But moving averages are one of the most powerful trend following tools in existence. I'm just going to pop on and choose a new color. And in this case, I'm going to use like a nice dark purple. And we're going to hit commit. And there you go. It came down and kissed the 100. Now, according to my little scheme that I've been using, my color scheme, I would make this maybe a 9. And there you got a nice fat line. Now, look, the other moving average that we would sometimes use, and just to finish the full component here, and I'm going to put this on just to oops. I think I managed to mess something up. Let's see. 200. I'm going to remove that one. I think I've gone to too many moving averages. There you go. Let's see. Let's try to see if I can do this again. Study config 200. There you go. So there's my 200 on there as well. So now I have my full component. So you can see as we get deeper down, right, that maybe the next down move would take us to the 200. So we have the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200. We have all of our major moving average on the chart. Now, you can see that, Tesla has been in play a long time and that this is a very mature trend. Okay. Now, there's one more thing that I'd like to cover, and I certainly want to just show you where they are. I'm not going to really go into them too much. So you got in here, you got moving average pair. Okay. We also have that's pretty much the extent of it. We have the moving average pair. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. Here we go. So up here, you have weighted, exponential, smooth, and volume weighted. So these are all different moving averages variables. Now I'm going to just strip off most of my moving averages, and I'm going to leave only two. I'm going to leave a exponential and a simple, okay? Because I want you to see the difference in the way that they're calculated. So I'm going to go study config. I'm going to remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to put in an exponential. And I am going to make it 20. I'm going to do 10 because I want them to be right next to each other. And I'm going to hit commit, commit. And I'm going to come into the 5 minute so they're real close. So now what I did here is I have two moving averages right next to each other. And so you see the simple period moving average is smoother, whereas the exponential reacts more. And I'm going to go study config, and I'm just going to add in another moving average just to get crazy. And I'm going to put in this one, I'm going to put this one a weighted moving average. And I'm just going to color code that differently so that we can put them all side by side. This is what we call in technical analysis, side by side, stare and compare. So notice that the smooth, the yellow moving average is the simple moving average. It's kind of smooth and stays away from price. The exponential moving average is a little bit more reactive, okay? And the weighted moving average is reactive, but reacts slightly differently. So the exponential is a little bit more reactive than the simple moving average, and the weighted moving average kind of just waits, waits a little bit closer to the current price. Okay, let's add all of our types of moving averages in there next to each other. Smooth. I'm going to change the color of this to orange. Notice the smooth moving average is a little bit further than even the regular simple moving average. And all we're doing is changing the calculation. Now, the next thing I want to do, and this is just again for educational purposes only, volume weighted. And on this one, I'm going to do the draw slope. So this one weights volume in there as well. And this one I color coded to being green when it's up, red when it goes down. Okay, so now we have all of our moving averages on that. We're doing a side-by-side stare and compare just to see how they react differently, okay? And I'm going to actually, yeah, it doesn't matter that it was both orange. One more thing. I'm going to do one more thing here. I'm going to change the source. So look, you can change to the open, to the high, to the low, to the close, to the high plus the low, to the high plus the low plus the close, the high plus the low. So you can get really fancy, right? And now on a weighted moving average, you can change the offset, okay? And I'm just going to cancel this. I'm going to go into my weighted moving average, okay? And I'm going to change my offset. Let's just do it to 20 so you can see the difference. Now, the only one that's going to be affected by this is the pink one. So the weighted moving average can be configured and offset in one direction or the other. All right, so now I'm going to just remove a lot of these moving averages because now our charts look like spaghetti. That's the one negative of using too many moving averages. And I'm just going to throw on here the moving average pair. Okay, I'm going to take all these off and I'm going to put on there just the moving average pair, which is the 5. Okay, let's hit commit. I'm going to just do a 10 and a 20. And I'm going to change this to this, a yellow, and a blue. Okay, so look, you could also play an alert if the two cross. A lot of people like to play moving average crosses. Let's hit commit. There would be your alert. There would be your alert. Okay, and look, I can still do what I like to do, which was the, for the 1 and the slightly slower one, I could also still do my thickening color codes. Let's jump back to wrapping this up. I hope you found this this session on moving averages helpful, and that you now know the full extent of the capabilities of the Dash Trader software and know a little bit about using moving averages to trade using your Dash Trader software. If you'd like to learn more about this and like to continue learning, okay, actually we got a little bit more. Understanding simple moving averages. An SMA is an algorithmic moving average calculated, arithmetic moving average calculated by adding recent prices and then dividing that figure by the number of time periods in the calculation average. For example, one could add the closing price of the security for a number of periods and then divide it into the total for the same number of periods. Short-term moving averages respond quickly to changes in price of the underlying security, while long-term moving averages are a little bit slower to react. There are other types of moving averages, including exponential, which we've covered, the EMA and the weighted moving averages, which we also showed you as well. Didn't really cover too much detail on that, but certainly that'll leave more room for me to cover things in the future. So if you'd like to continue learning with me and Dash Trader, one of the things that you can do is you can go to learningdaytrading.com, scroll down to our featured educators, click on my name, just look for Mike, and then choose what coaching session you'd like. And if you notice here, we have a couple of different options for you. I think a great way to get started, just so that we can kind of figure out what we can do next and how much time you might need. It's a $50 for a 30-minute session. And this is an introductory session. I pretty much just go through your trading, try to start on working on a trading plan. If you don't have a plan, it's a plan to fail. And then obviously we can go over some options. Generally, it's $300 an hour. However, if you buy blocks of time, 5 hours, 10 hours, you get a discount off of the normal hourly rate. The more time you buy, the less you actually pay per hour. And that's pretty much it, folks. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. This is session 2 of an 8-part series on indicators with Dash Trader. Look forward to learning with you. Bye-bye.